Hey everyone, it's Justin. You like making money, I like making money, so I came across this video on CNBC and I thought it'd be fun to watch it together on how other people make money. Graham Stephan, you're not the only one who likes these videos. So this 28-year-old earns $378,000, that's a lot of money, per year on Fiverr, and just bought a car for $50,000 in cash. Wow, Fiverr, I thought that was a site where you got $5 for doing a job. That's a lot of work. Let's see what's going on here. How this 28-year-old went from $36,000 a year to $378,000 a year on Fiverr. Okay. For 6 years, Alex Fazzullo, if I'm saying her name correctly, didn't own a car. The Brooklyn-based freelance writer who finds work via Fiverr didn't need one to get around. But when the thing hit the US, Fazzullo scaled back on how often she took the subway, opting for rideshare services instead. My Uber and Lyft spending was out of control, she tells CNBC Make It. It was coming to around $2,000 per month. $2,000? You could lease a Lamborghini with that money. Being in Brooklyn, you have to go over the bridges to get into Manhattan, so it'd be a $30 to $40 each way every time I go out. That's just insane. I knew it was expensive, but I never guessed it was that much money. The 28-year-old eventually decided to invest in a car and was able to pay for it in cash. I bought a yellow Jeep Wrangler in September 2020 in cash for $50,000. Okay, first of all, I wouldn't buy it in cash. Rates are so low, especially back then, that I would have just financed it and then used the leftover money to buy some NFTs. I'm obsessed with it, I love it to death. The thing inspired me to get one because I wanted to still be mobile and not rely on flights to go travel and see our country. Okay, makes sense. Fazzullo was able to afford such a big purchase thanks to her lucrative career. Earns $378,000 a year through jobs she does on Fiverr Pro. So that might be it. Fiverr Pro, I believe, is the higher end version of Fiverr, where you can charge a lot more money for your jobs. Right, the higher end version of the platform where freelancers offer their services worldwide. Primarily does ghostwriting and charges their clients $1,000 for a 10,000 word ebook. Wow, okay. And in any given week, I write up to 3 ebooks for clients. Okay, so $3,000 a week. That still doesn't really add up. Being a freelancer allows Fazzullo to work on a variety of different projects and topics, which keeps her from getting bored. One of the most entertaining elements of what I do is that no day is the same. Clients vary from large corporations to people managing their influencer dogs on Instagram. The variety keeps things interesting. I've written ebooks for quite a few dogs, and that's why I'm still able to do what I do every day. Those pups must have some mad cash if they're able to afford those kinds of prices. Where do they keep it? In the doghouse? Fazzullo earned over $36,000 in May 2020, her highest earning month ever. That's awesome. While so many people were losing their jobs and so many businesses were going out of business, so many people were coming online to start selling products and services because it was the only way they were going to make contact with other human beings. And that's right, during all of last year and continuing into this year, we're seeing more and more business going online, more and more people finding new ways to make money online. Fazzullo saw a surge in businesses hiring her to write content for their websites and widen their online presence. Makes sense. And now Fazzullo and her Jeep are on to the next adventure after living in New York for 6 years. That's expensive. She just moved to Florida, much less expensive, where she plans to buy her first house. Alright, let's watch the video.
I doubled my income overnight, and that was crazy to me. At 24, 25, making 14 or 15K per month is insane. You're not even emotionally prepared for it yet.
I will say that's one thing. Once you start making a lot of money, you gotta learn how to save it, because if you don't, you're probably gonna spend it.
My name is Alex Fazzullo. I'm 28 years old, and I make $378,000 per year as a freelance writer on Fiverr.com. I lived in New York City for the past 6 years, and I now live in Florida.
Wow, living on $36,000 a year, I mean, that's not easy anywhere, but in New York City, that's crazy. It's a nice house. We have the cat there.
My clients vary beyond.
I wonder if secretly the kitten's the one just like pounding away on the keyboard, writing everything.
Beyond what you can imagine, from large corporations that you've heard of, down to entrepreneurs or influencers or people who manage their influencing dog on Instagram. I've written ebooks for quite a few dogs. I've been able to take 60 hours worth of work and kind of squish it down to 40 hours because I kind of have my system down.
That's just crazy to me. That's another good point. A lot of times when you start out doing these new types of businesses, it can take a while to find the workflow and find the process. But once you get that hammered down, you can really get productive and crank the work out. Some iced coffee, making me want to drink some coffee.
I accepted this PR job that paid $36,000 per year. I felt so out of place. I was so unhappy, and I was crying on my keyboard that I quit. And I don't normally quit things. And that Monday when I was supposed to go into work, I just couldn't.
Wow, after 4 weeks.
I could not go back into that place. It was the darkest I had ever felt. I only had enough money in my bank account to cover my bills for 3 months. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, if I have to go through this same process again, only to get a job that I again hate, I can't keep going through this cycle. Something needs to change.
Yeah, and that's very true. You got to find some kind of work that you like to do, hopefully where it doesn't even feel like work at the end of the day, and something that you can continue to grow into and advance your career in. And that's what pushes a lot of people to look for these alternative sources of income.
After a few days, I had interest on my press release gig, and I was charging $15 for that. And just that interest alone was enough to almost kind of light a fire in me and see, okay, I am capable of earning $15, $20 a day. Well, what if I could earn $50 a day? What if I could earn $100 a day? Now I'm making $3,000 per month, and I can cover all of my bills. That first week on Fiverr, I started to discover that I was capable of earning money on my own without anyone telling me what to do, which means each passing day, the idea of applying to another job just vanished. It just disappeared into thin air.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I actually don't know anyone who works on Fiverr or does Fiverr exclusively. But yeah, it's cool to know that it's possible.
I think I cried. I realized I can cover my bills with this. Like, I don't have to go back to a corporate job. After about a year of hitting it really hard on Fiverr, I opened way more services. I think I had like 12 or 13 gigs at the time. I was ranked level 2 on the site, and the site has these levels that allow you to charge more as you advance through them. Fiverr, the company, actually reached out to me and asked me to come meet them to film a commercial in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. As you advance on the site, then you can charge more and more for your projects and for your work to your clients. That's a lot of simultaneous gigs to be doing all at once. I wonder if she was doing everything herself or if she had somebody helping.
Up until January 2018, I was making around 6 to 8K per month, which is incredible, of course. But it was January into February 2018 when I was launched into the double-digit realm, meaning I was making 13K, 14K, 15K. Which was essentially I doubled my income overnight, and that was crazy to me. In 2017, I made $63,000 that year, and in 2018, I jumped to making $273,000, which was the craziest jump you could ever imagine. It took me a couple years to accept that I was making that money. The only thing that I would say I started to spend more on to treat myself was travel experiences and music festivals. I'm pretty sure if a financial planner sat down with me, they would be disgusted by me and my management of my money. But my strategy is just basically, if I know I'm making like 15 to 20K, I kind of just in my head try and make sure I'm saving at least 50% of it.
All right, now of course it gets easier to save more and more of your money as you earn more and more money, but let's be realistic here. Saving 50% of your money, that's a pretty good goal. And if you can do more, then even better.
This year, I'm definitely going to contribute less to my retirement, but I already know my accountant is going to tell me that I should still contribute something because it helps with my taxable income. I can hear them.
You should at least contribute up to the limit so you can get those deductions.
Now, so I think like most entrepreneurs, I have a problem with having my money like locked up in accounts. It's just not how my brain works. I kind of like to have it at my disposal, so if I come up with some like project or real estate investment I want to do, I can just grab it.
Interesting, doing real estate. Or looking at doing real estate anyway.
I use a CPA, like an accountant, hands down. Costs like $1,200. It's worth it to me.
Yeah, I'd say that's one thing I'd like to do is find someone who's really good at doing this stuff for me. Because I find that as time goes on, I spend more and more time going through all the numbers and putting everything together, and I'm just getting tired of it, honestly, so I need to find someone to help me out. No state income taxes? That's why I live here in Washington.
When you're in a city like New York, it's very easy to go somewhere. You can drop $200 on dinner.
Speaking of that, I just dropped $200 on dinner the other day, and I don't do that very often. But I looked at the bill and I was like, that's $200 of crypto I could have bought.
It kind of contributed to my desire to move out of New York City, which I am now in Florida. And my food and drinks is probably down to $500. It's not even close to what it was in New York City.
There's the Jeep.
I wanted to still be mobile and not reliant on flights to go travel and see our country. The craziest thing happened because while so many people were losing their jobs and so many businesses were going out of business, so many people were coming online to start selling products and services because that was the only way they were going to make contact with other human beings. So they needed someone like a copywriter to help them fill their website, their blog, their social media posts, which led me to having my biggest month that I had ever had on Fiverr in May 2020. I made over $36,000 that month, which was insane, and it was so weird to have that happening while there was so much bad happening in the world at the same time. It was a very weird and conflicting feeling.
Okay, so here we go. Additional income from online courses, Shopify, and private clients. It'd be cool if they break that down, so I'm really curious how much comes from Fiverr itself and the clients have been built up on that platform over time versus these other revenue streams.
I said to her, you know, hey, I have $350K chilling in my bank account. You want me to get this house and you can pay me back?
$350K just chilling in the bank account. That's a lot of money just to be chilling in a bank account. She could have put that in BlockFi and have been earning interest on it that whole time. And when you're ready, just take it out and spend it.
When you said the Albany house, and she said, yeah, I mean, sure. So we kind of just, you know, made a collective decision. I don't know, my family, we're old school. I guess we share our resources and everything. For this house, my mom put down the $20,000 down payment, and then I paid the rest, which was $287,000, and we transferred the money out of my bank account to the seller.
Oh, interest rates were so low. Just take out that 30-year mortgage, use the extra money, and buy crypto with it.
And in full, paid in cash, you know, paid off. So I was never really scared, but it was definitely very new for me the last 2 months to live with having 20 to 30K in my bank account.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're used to having all that money in your bank account or in some kind of assets, and then all of a sudden you just have a little bit of it. That would freak me out.
Instead of 300K, that's going to make me sound full of myself, but I just become very used to having a lot of money in my bank account because I've been saving it.
Okay, so looking to buy real estate, that's good.
This first property I want to buy in Southwest Florida, it's cheap because it's only a 1-2 bedroom, tiny little thing. So I'm actually thinking of buying 2 of them right off the bat. One of them I would immediately start to rent out on Airbnb, and then the other one I would use for myself / a filming studio, because right now I don't have one and I definitely want one set up, so I'm more inclined to do YouTube content and everything I keep putting off. But until I buy that second one, I will, live in the first one.
And that's good. If she buys that other property and uses it as a studio exclusively, then she can write it off as a business expense.
I want to eventually quit Fiverr just because I'm, again, like that classic entrepreneurial type where I get bored. And I would love to transition more into a full-time educator with everything that I've learned and kind of phase away from actually writing the blogs and move more into a role where I'm helping people write blogs.
And that's smart. At this point, you really need to hire some people to help scale your business out so you can focus on building other things yourself that generate even more income as time goes on.
I think 22-year-old me, working a job I hated in New York City, making $36,000 per year, I could not in my wildest dreams have imagined that this would be me at 28. Not for a second did I ever think this would be where I am. I did not dream that big. Women get treated much differently than men if they're posting about the money they earn. On TikTok, if I post a video showing my receipts, as Gen Z says, the comments are flooded with men saying, no you don't, calling me mean terms, sexual terms, or saying, oh, she made it on OnlyFans. I definitely noticed a huge pushback being a woman, and I've had all sorts of people write to me and say it's very unbecoming as a woman that you post that money, you should keep your mouth shut about it. So it's definitely hard being a woman doing this, but I think it's also forced me to develop thicker skin.
Yeah, I can't really speak to that. I mean, I'm pretty open with money with friends. It's still strange to me that money's kind of like this taboo subject, even in this day and age. But it's clear that it's becoming more and more common to be open about your finances and talk more about money.
Guys, I'm going to give you my top 5 time management tips that help me churn out a ton of work every day. Got a lot of love too, and I discovered that there's so many people out there that do want to freelance, they don't hate me for it, and they want to learn from me and they want to learn what I know. Being transparent with what I am earning has earned these people's trust and showed them it is possible. A girl from a farm in upstate New York did it, I can do it too.
And that just goes to show, the more open you are about these things, the more that you discuss these things online, the easier it becomes to talk about money online, making money, saving money, and that just helps out everyone across the board. That's all for this one. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.